Well, hey guys, and welcome to my first ever edition of Yoga for Artists. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Maggie, and I am a freelance illustrator as well as a yoga teacher. A while ago, I had some of my community on Instagram express some interest in yoga videos that are designed specifically for artists, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. I know those of you who reached out, I'm sorry it's taken so long, but here we are, and I'm really excited to finally be bringing it to you. If you're currently having any hesitations thinking that, I've never practiced yoga before, or I'm not very flexible, or I'm not very athletic, you really don't need to be. I am a very firm believer in the fact that yoga is meant to be for everyone. So when I put these lessons together, I really did so with the intention that they are as accessible as possible, and I will be offering modifications for everything, but even without the modifications, we're not doing anything super crazy. This is more meant to just be something that you can do when you need to take a break from whatever project you're currently working on. We tend to get ourselves kind of in that position that we get in to do our work and then not move. I know I'm definitely guilty of not taking enough breaks throughout the day. And so this is something that you can kind of use specifically for that, that's going to help reduce the chance of you developing a lot of pain in your body, that's going to make it hard for you to work. I'm also going to try to kind of introduce a few tidbits here and there of kind of habits that you can change at your workstation and how you set yourself up that can hopefully help prevent pain, tension, and all of those muscle strains from happening, so that you don't find yourself in a position where you're having to go to a physio for sitting at your desk too long. So with that said, all you really need is a little bit of space. You don't need any special equipment. You don't even really need a yoga mat. In my personal opinion, these things are kind of a scam, but whatever. I own 3 of them. As long as, if you have a hardwood floor, just have something soft that you can kind of use for a little bit of cushioning. If not, just grab yourself a little bit of space and we will go ahead and get started. So for today's practice, I want us to start lying down. And I want you to start with your knees bent. Take your feet about as wide as a yoga mat. Let the knees just gently knock in towards each other so that they can just kind of relax here. Try to find a space where the back of your neck can be nice and long if you need to just adjust yourself a little bit. And then bringing the hands just to rest on your low belly. And before we do anything, just start by breathing in deep to that space underneath your hands, so that as you breathe in, you feel the belly rise. And as you breathe out, you feel the belly fall. And just take a few breaths here to really breathe mindfully. More than any of the yoga postures, the breath is really the most important thing. Teaching ourselves to breathe slowly and mindfully can help us just calm our nerves, calm our mind. And just breathing this way can even reduce anxiety. Good. Trying to continue breathing nice and full. Open the arms out wide and then just hug across, grabbing onto opposite shoulders. Good. Open out wide again. And then cross the arms over the opposite way. Again, grabbing onto opposite shoulders. Good. And then go ahead and grab onto opposite elbows here. So your elbows will be pointed straight up at the ceiling. And just take a moment to notice which direction you chose to grab, and then grab the opposite way. And then start to take those elbows and make a big circle going in one direction. It doesn't matter which direction first. Pause and then reverse that circle going in the opposite direction. You might notice a little bit of crackling, crunching here. That's good. It means you're introducing movement into somewhere that isn't getting enough of it. Good. Make your way back to the center, elbows pointed straight up at the ceiling again. And then you're going to take your elbows over to your right hand side and take your knees over to the left hand side. You can adjust the position of your feet here if you need to. Good. Use your in breath to come back through center. Use your out breath to take it over to the other side. Good. So use that entire breath in, come through center. Entire breath out, twisting the body, taking knees in one direction, elbows in the other. Good. And keep breathing through it. Just doing a few rounds here. Getting a little bit of movement into the shoulders, into the hips, as well as just bringing some awareness to that breath. Good. Try to finish off on an equal amount on both sides, so you'll end with the elbows going to the left, knees going to the right. Good. Bring it back through center. Draw the knees in towards the chest, and you can just grab onto whatever you can grab onto here, either the backs of the thighs, maybe around the shins, and just gently rock from side to side. Then go ahead and just roll over onto one side and press yourself up to a seated position. This doesn't necessarily have to be a cross-legged position. If you can cross your legs, do. If not, find whatever position you can get in where you can sit up nice and tall without kind of slouching back here. You can even sit up on something if it helps. Extend up through the spine, drawing the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and then just take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Good. Again, lengthening back up, and then the left ear will come towards the left shoulder. Good. Bring it back up through the center. Right ear back towards right shoulder. This time you have the option pressing that opposite left hand out to the side and down, and flex the hand, drawing the fingertips back towards your face, pressing the heel of the hand down and away. You can then take that right hand and just gently rest it on top of the head. Don't use it to pull, just add a little bit of extra weight here. And breathe. Go ahead and switching to the other side. Again, press the heel of that hand away. Bring that left hand to rest on the head. And a lot of these little neck movements here that I'm going to show you are really good just to practice periodically at your desk. Maybe every 20 minutes or so. You don't want to take a full break, but maybe just adding a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching here and there. Getting the blood flowing into the neck, shoulders, arms, upper body. Good. Last time to the left side. Good. And release back to center. Now this time you're going to keep your chin nice and parallel with the floor, so don't kind of tilt the head up or down, and just to look directly over that right shoulder. Then you're going to look straight down. From here you press that left hand out and away just like we did before, and take that right hand just to rest on top of the head. So stretching some slightly different muscle groups here. Another one, I like to do this at my desk a lot. I tend to hold a lot of tension in these muscles. Good. Go ahead and release. Turn your head right over that left shoulder. Look down. Hand comes to rest on the head. Press that opposite heel of the hand out and away. These are really good just to hold for maybe about 10 seconds. Do a few sets at your desk every now and then. Good. We'll do once more to each side, looking straight over that right shoulder, dropping the head down, flexing the left hand out and away, adding that little bit of weight with the right. Good. Gently release. Last side, looking out over that left shoulder. Look down. Press the heel of the hand away. Bring that other hand to rest on top. And actually, if you're sitting at your desk, you can take this extended arm and use it to kind of grab onto the edge of your chair and kind of pull that shoulder down and away for a little bit of extra traction. Good. Go ahead and release. Come back up. Just give your head a little bit of a looky-loo to either side here. And then roll the shoulders out a few times. From here, we'll just come to our knees. If being on your knees is a definite no-no for you, you can just do this seated. But if possible, go ahead and just sit your hips back on your heels here and try and sit up nice and straight. This is a really good position for helping getting the spine into alignment. Good. From here, go ahead and just tuck your thumb into the center of your palm and then loosely wrap the other fingers around. Extend your arms straight out in front of you and start to rotate into the wrists. Again, you might hear a little bit of snap, crackle, pop here. It's a good sign that your body needs this movement. And then we're going to add a little bit of something. So you're going to start to draw your fists, keep rotating them back towards you, and they'll kind of go wider as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. So imagine there's like a lemon between your shoulder blades. You're trying to squeeze the juice out of it. And then press them forward, now allowing those shoulders to separate. Try to keep rotating. It might be a little bit of a brain exercise today. And then squeeze them back. Try not to arch your back like this. Try just to use the shoulder blades to draw the arms back. Good, and then pressing them forward. And with them pressed forward, then reverse those circles you're making with your wrists. And then draw those shoulder blades back. You might be able to tell watching me, my mind is having a little bit of trouble with the rotation plus the movement in the shoulders, and then press it forward. And that's fine. It's all practice. That's why it's called a yoga practice. Good. And then press them forward one more time. And then let that rotation stop. Let the arms drift down. You might give your arms a little bit of a shake here. And then just grab onto your hand with the opposite hand and start to just lightly tug and then lightly wiggle into the forearm here. So we're just pulling lightly, creating a little bit of a traction here to kind of decompress all the muscles that are in the wrist and the hand here. So just keep going back and forth and doing this. And while you do that, just as a little bit of an aside here, if you can set up your workstation so that your arms are lightly retracted like this, so not extended out forward, but lightly retracted, and have some sort of support for your forearm, like even if you have like a pillow that you place like your sketchbook or your tablet on, it can really go a long way to reducing strain in the wrists and the arms here. So just give them a few more little tugs here. And then we're going to move into some kind of deep wrist stretches here. If you have any kind of wrist injury already, I really suggest doing it up against a wall. You'll just sit and press the hands up against the wall. But if not, go ahead and just come to all fours here, lining up your wrists right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. Fingertips start pointing forward, and just spread your fingers as wide as you can and just start to very slowly and gently rock your weight back and forth. Only go as far forward as you can without feeling any pain. If there's pain, you have gone too far. Good. Bring that movement to settle. Take the fingertips, point them in towards each other. Make sure you keep a little bit of softness in the elbows throughout these movements here. And again, just gently rocking back and forth. If you have your hands against the wall, you might kind of move your body up and down. You can stand and kind of raise onto the toes and then come back down. Good. And then find stillness. Point the fingertips out now so that the wrists are facing one another. Keep that softness in the wrists. And again, just gently rocking back and forth. Good. And then be very careful with this one. We're going to take the fingertips to point straight back towards us. And instead of rocking back and forth, we're going to make sure we have that softness in the elbows, which can be difficult. You might have to kind of reposition yourself to make sure you can achieve that. And then just lightly draw the weight back as far as you can before there's any pain. If there's pain, you've gone too far. Good. Go ahead and lift up off of that. Sit back on your heels. If you're at the wall, you'll just stay right where you are. You're going to take the backs of the hands and place them on your mat or on the floor here. And then lift up so that the backs of the hands can just be flat against the floor. And then you're just going to lightly draw your weight back until you feel a little bit of a stretch across the tops of the wrists and the tops of the hands here. Try to keep the fingers spread nice and wide. Good. Go ahead and release that. Sit back up. Give yourself a little bit more of that retraction, that light pulling into the wrists. Good. From here, we'll come back to a tabletop position. If being on your wrist doesn't work, you can do this spinal movement seated. You're going to send your tailbone up towards the ceiling, drop the belly, draw the chest through the arms, gently look up. Then you're going to tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly button to the spine, round the head and chest forward. Good. So your inhale, you send the tailbone high, drop the belly, bring the chest through the arms, look up. As you exhale, you tuck the tailbone, draw the belly button up and in, send the head and shoulders forward. Good. Following your own breath here. Again, breathing very mindfully, trying to use that entire inhale to arch the back open across the front body. Use that entire exhale to tuck and round everything, widening across the back body. Good. Breathing through the movement. Trying to really be aware of the movement. Try to let it start at your tailbone and ripple up that spine, one vertebra at a time, so the head is the very last thing to go. Good. Next time you round all the way up, send the hips back towards the heels. And your forearms can come to the ground here. If you'd like, you can just rest with your head in your hands. If you want to, you can extend the arms all the way out and bring the head all the way down to the floor. Child's pose. From here, just gently bump your hips off to the right side and start to walk your hands all the way over to the left. Try to keep your shoulders nice and even here so one isn't kind of lifting up. You want them an equal distance from the ground. And then sink the body down as you stretch into that right side and breathe. Think about sending your breath into that right side of the body. So it's almost like the inhale deepens the stretch. Good. Make your way back through center and then go to the other side. So hips go left, hands and upper body go right. Sink down, opening across that left side of the body and breathing into it. Good. Make your way back to the middle. Take a moment to kind of ripple the spine up and then sink down, fold. Good. Start to make your way all the way back up. If you don't want to be on your knees, you can just come to a regular seat. Otherwise, stay here. Take your hands out to a T position. And I'll move forward just so you can kind of see here. Again, we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other. So this is not a spinal movement. You don't want to back bend. Just squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other so that the hands go back. From here, we're going to start to make kind of snow angels here. So let the hands drop down, keeping those shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other, opening across the front of the chest here, and lifting the hands up. Good. We'll just move through a few of these here. Dropping the hands down. Keep sending those hands back behind you, using those shoulder blades to really squeeze together here. Good. We spend a lot of time really rounded forward, so it's good to work those muscles between the shoulder blades, strengthen them so they can hold us up. Good, let's do one more, extending up. And then dropping down. Good. Roll the shoulders out a little bit. And then we'll come around to sit. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees go wide. Bring yourself up, lengthening the crown of the head towards the ceiling, and then fold forward from the hip crease to wherever you can fold today. Do try and keep a nice long spine here, don't worry about getting your head to the floor as long as the low back can be long. Good. Start to bring yourself all the way back up. Extend the legs, give them a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a wiggle, and then cross the legs. And notice which side you chose to cross to instinctually, and then switch it. Good. Sit up nice and tall, and very gently just twisting to your right. Good. Don't worry about torquing yourself into anything deep here. Just be nice and gentle. Good. And make your way to the other side. When you return to your desk or whatever your workspace is, maybe take a moment to notice if you tend to lean or turn in one direction more often than the other. And see if you're maybe able to switch that up as we go back to the other side so that you can kind of be facing straight forward, or you can at least balance the two sides out. I know I discovered after really kind of working at my workstation with my second monitor very far to my right that I had a lot of trouble and tightness in my left side because I was always turning towards the right all the time. And then back to the left. And then doing little movements like this throughout your day, just twisting from side to side, can help even out what's uneven. Good. Unwind. Sit up nice and tall. Hinge right from that hip crease. Come forward a little bit here. Good. Bring yourself back up. Switch the cross of your legs. And again. Good. Bring yourself up, and however is safest and most comfortable for you, make your way back down onto your back. And when you get there, draw the knees into the chest and just give yourself a very slow, gentle rock from side to side. And then bring those feet back to the floor, nice and wide. Let the knees drop in towards each other. Take a moment just to kind of look over each shoulder, loosening up into the neck. And then take the hands behind the head and again, just adjust the neck. Pull the head away from the body, finding length along the back of the neck, and then just gently set it back down. From here, your legs can stay where they are. If you want, you can extend them out, let the feet flop out to either side. But if this creates any kind of tension or awkward sensation in your low back, just keep them bent where they are. Hands can either stay open up to the ceiling, or you can rest them back on your belly the way we started. And if you haven't already, you can let the eyes close. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Take this last couple of minutes here just to focus on your breath. Maybe you're thinking about whatever project you're currently working on. Maybe visions of it are flashing across your mind right now. It's all perfectly normal. But just try and let those things drift away with your exhale. And allow that breath to be your center focus so that you're not having to think or worry about anything else. If the mind is wandering or becoming distracted, you can silently repeat to yourself, there is a breath in, and there is a breath out. Slowly start to introduce movement back into the body, maybe starting in your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles, waking the body back up, and then slowly making your way back up to a seated position. Take a moment just to bow forward to yourself, thanking yourself for taking some time out of your day for your own wellness and your own good. Inhale, gather up anything positive you might have cultivated here today. And exhale, seal it down and within, knowing you carry it with you everywhere you go. Thank you for joining me on your mat today, guys. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Namaste. Thank you again so much for joining me for this first ever edition of Yoga for Artists. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions for things that you'd like to see, please let me know that as well. I'm just getting started with this, so if you guys want to help me to kind of shape and form this, it would really be appreciated. And if you are really interested in yoga and you want to kind of go beyond just Yoga for Artists, I really suggest heading over to the Yoga Within YouTube channel. I will link them below. They are my home studio. They are my second family, the ladies who I've trained with since the very beginning. And they kind of have a little bit of something for everybody. So all different levels, all kinds of styles. Please go check them out and say hi. I love them so much. And shortly they'll actually have some chakra themed meditations from yours truly as well. So if you're interested in that, you can hop over. I think within the next few days there should be the first one up. And I am an Instagram artist, so I have to do my Skillshare plug at the end of my video. But yeah, if you are stuck at home right now, like many people are, you do have time. So why not use 2 free months of Skillshare? I'll put the link in the description below. Even if you just use it for the 2 free months, like, it's awesome. There's all kinds of classes that you can get into there to help improve your skills. I know I'm always looking for ways to kind of level up my artwork, so it's a great place to go. And with that said, you know, I've done my whole spiel now, little end of the video thing. Thank you for your patience if you've stuck around to the end of this. I hope to see more of you in the future. Namaste again.